News from around the globe. Hot, fresh, balanced and objective. On Unity.
Hello and welcome to Unity News Hour on Unity TV. Today is Thursday, the 16th of February 2023, and it's equivalent to 25th of Rajab 1444 after Hijrah. The headlines: Buhari extends validity of old 200 Naira notes till April 10. New Naira crisis, violence spreads in states, 3 killed, banks burned. Tinubu, Shettima orders meet Wike in Rivers. Soldiers avenging colleagues dead by killer core Bond Station. And on the foreign scene, at least 33 dead in Panama migrant bus crash. And in sports, Man City beats Arsenal 3-1 top Premier League. And those were the headlines, and for details and more of the stories, I am Rukayat Sani Ibrahim. President Buhari has ordered the extension of the validity of all 200 Naira notes by 60 days. The president made this disclosure on Thursday while addressing Nigerians in a nationwide broadcast on the recent implementation of the redesigned Naira policy, which has led to the scarcity of the notes.
The financial policy and the efficient management of inflation. C. The huge volume of bank notes outside the banking system has proven to be practically unavailable for economic activities and by implication retard the attainment of potential economic growth. Economic growth projections make it imperative for government to aim at expanding financial inclusion in the country by reducing the number of the unbanked population. And E.
To further ease the supply pressures, particularly to our citizens, he has given approval to the CBN that the old 200 Naira banknotes be released back into circulation and that it should also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the new 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1000 Naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10, 2023 to April 10, 2023, when the old 200 Naira notes ceases to be legal tender. In line with Section 20, Subsection 3 of the CBN Act 2007, all existing old 1000 Naira and 500 Naira notes remain redeemable at the CBN and designated points. Considering the health of our economy and the legacy we must bequeath to the next administration and future generations of Nigerians, he also admonished every citizen to strive harder to make their deposit by taking advantage of the platforms and windows being provided by the CBN. He further assures Nigerians that his administration will continue to assess the implementation with a view to ensuring that Nigerians are not unnecessarily burdened. In this regard, the CBN shall ensure that new notes become more available and accessible to our citizens through the banks.
Banking industry entrusted with the process of implementation of the new monetary policy. I am deeply pained and sincerely sympathize with you all over these unintended outcomes. To stem this tide, I have directed the CBN to deploy all legitimate resources and legal means to ensure that our citizens are adequately educated on the policy, enjoy easy access to cash withdrawal through availability of appropriate amount of currency and the ability to make deposits. I have similarly directed the CBN should intensify collaboration with anti-corruption agencies so as to ensure that any institution or persons found to have impeded or sabotaged the implementation should be made to bear the full weight of the law. During the extended phase of the deadline for currency swap, I listened to invaluable pieces of advice from well-meaning citizens and institutions across the nation.
He also wished to once more appeal for understanding till we overcome this difficult transient phase within the shortest possible time. Fellow citizens, on the 25th of February 2023, the nation will be electing a new president and National Assembly members. He also said he is aware that this new monetary policy has also contributed immensely to the minimization of the influence of money in politics. This is a positive departure from the past and represents a bold legacy step by this administration towards laying a strong foundation for free, fair and credible elections. The growing anger over the cash crisis resulting from the Central Bank of Nigeria currency redesign policy boiled over on Wednesday as protesting customers touched banks and destroyed automated teller machines in Edo and Delta states. The violence, which paralyzed social and economic activities in the two states, also claimed 3 lives, while many others were injured during the riot. The protests equally spread to Oyo, Ondo, Benue and Kwara states as residents vented their anger over the scarcity of cash, which have made life unbearable for many Nigerians. The police public relations officer in Oyo and Ondo states confirmed the incident, but those of Delta and Benue states commands could not be reached for comment on the incident as of the time of filing this report. President Muhammadu Buhari has met with the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, hours after the Supreme Court adjourned the suit filed by the state government to change the Naira redesign policy of the Apex Bank till February 22. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, confirmed to newsmen that the CBN governor was indeed expected to see the president and believes that he met with him after the Federal Executive Council meeting yesterday. The president had 11 days ago appealed to Nigerians to give him 7 days to resolve the cash crunch, after the Nigerian Governors Forum urged him to allow all old notes circulate in the system to ease hardship on ordinary Nigerians. On rumors making the rounds that the president may be mulling an extension of the validity of the old Naira notes by 60 days, the presidential spokesman said he is not in a position to confirm or deny the narrative. The Supreme Court had earlier on Wednesday said its February 8 order barring the federal government and its agencies from enforcing the February 10 deadline from the use of old 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1000 Naira notes still stands. The Supreme Court further fixed February 22 for the hearing of the suit filed by Kaduna, Kogi and Zamfara states challenging the priority of the Naira swap policy of the federal government. The court chose the date after joining the Attorney Generals of Katsina State, Lagos, Cross River, Ondo, Ogun, Ekiti and Sokoto states as co-plaintiffs in the earlier suit filed by Kaduna, Kogi and Zamfara states. The governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, revealed on Wednesday that the federal government has made overtures to governors seeking the withdrawal of the suit at the Supreme Court, challenging the deadline for the old Naira notes. El-Rufai, in a statement by his special advisor, Media and Communication, Muyiwa Adekeye, however, said the proposition was rejected as the governors did not agree with the terms being proposed by the federal government. The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his running mate Kashim Shettima, the APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu on Wednesday paid a courtesy visit to the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike in Port Harcourt, the state capital. Wike, during the meeting, asked Tinubu to prevail on the federal government to ensure that the 2023 general election is not truncated. Wike, in a statement signed by the Special Assistant to the Rivers State Governor, Kelvin Ebere, yesterday noted that the Central Bank of Nigeria's flagrant disregard for the Supreme Court order on the Naira swap policy should worry the APC-led federal government, particularly as the 2023 general election draw nearer. On Tinubu's entourage were the governors of Kebbi, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, David Umahi of Ebonyi, former Ekiti State Governor Dr. Kayode Fayemi, Minister of State for Petroleum Timipre Silva, Tony Okocha and others. Governor Wike, who thanked God that the APC presidential rally in the state was devoid of violence, however, expressed reservation whether the APC-led federal government was interested in conducting the 2023 general elections, particularly with the lingering Naira swap crisis. Soldiers avenging the killing of the colleague of a policeman on Tuesday stormed the Ojigo area of Ogun State to avenge his death and in the process threw residents and business owners in the area into confusion. It was gathered that the policeman stabbed the soldier to death, and during a reprisal, property including vehicles and a police station, among others, were burnt. A resident of the area who simply identified himself as Sam told newsmen that trouble started when a policeman allegedly killed a soldier. Efforts to get the Ogun State PPRO Abimbola Oyeyemi proved abortive as of the time of filing this report. Spokesman for the 81 Division Nigerian Army Lieutenant Colonel O.O. Ayeni, when contacted, said he would get back to newsmen but had yet to do so as of the time of filing this report. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has extended its 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination registration by 1 week. The extension began from Wednesday, February 15, 2023. However, the sale of e-pins will end on February 20, 2023. The head of Public Affairs and Protocol, JAMB, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, who disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday in Abuja, said UTME registration ends on Wednesday, February 22, 2023. He said a total of 1,527,068 candidates have successfully registered for the 2023 UTME exercise. The Lagos State High Court, sitting at the Tafawa Balewa Square on Lagos Island, has ordered kidnapped kingpin Chukwudumeme Onwama Dike, popularly known as Evans, to refund the sum of £233,000 ransom he coercively collected from one of his victims, Chief Donatus Dunu. Justice Olokayode Ogunjobi also ordered the convicted kidnapper to pay 50 million naira as general damages in the favor of the claimant. The claimant, a pharmacist, was abducted on February 14, 2017 for ransom and held hostage, before he managed to escape from captivity. Upon his escape, he alleged that the defendant collected the sum of £233,000 as ransom prior to his escape from abduction. Nigeria's inflation rate rose from 21.34% in December 2022 to 21.82% in January 2023 amid biting scarcity of the naira. According to the latest Consumer Price Index CPI report released on Wednesday by the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), the January 2023 inflation rate showed an increase of 0.47% points when compared to December 2022 inflation rate. The NBS said the percentage change in the average CPI for the 12-month period ending January 2023 over the average of the CPI for the previous 12-month period was 19.36%, showing a 2.49% increase compared to 16.87% recorded in January 2022. And on the foreign scene, at least 33 people died Wednesday when a bus transporting migrants bound for the United States crashed with a minibus in Panama, an official in the Central American country said. Updating the death toll from 15, Panama's National Director of Migration, Samira Gozaini, told the Telemetro broadcaster that for now we have information of 33 people dead. President Laurentino Cotizo earlier announced that 15 people had lost their lives in the early morning crash in Gualaca, Chariqui. The bus had 66 occupants, including the driver and an assistant, when it crashed some 400 kilometers west of the capital, Panama City. Police Transit Operations Commissioner Emiliano Otero told journalists authorities have yet to report the nationalities of the victims or the number of people actually injured. And in sports, Manchester City knocked Arsenal off the top of the Premier League with a 3-1 win at the Emirates on Wednesday. Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland were on target for the defending champions to move ahead of the Gunners, who have a game in hand on goal difference. With this story, we've come to the end of our bulletin for today. You can follow us on our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Unity Radio FM TV, respectively. I am Ruqayyat Sani Ibrahim. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Unity.